Hey, what an intro. It's not new bike day, but it is kind of frame swap for swap day. This is the Alloy Evo, and in the box here is my old carbon stump jumper. So slightly different geo, marginally heavier. As you can see, I got my fork on here and I'm kind of in the middle of disassembling it because what I've got is somewhere is a 160 air spring that I've had, and this bike takes a 160. This fork is actually a 150 millimeter Pike, but like all of them from this generation, you can go up to a 160. This one's even marked on the upper for 160. So I think all I gotta do is kind of pop this bolt off, loosen all the air pressure out, pull the lowers off, and then pull out the air spring, put the new one back in, put it all back together. Sounds simple, right? We're gonna see. Luckily I've got more than one bike, so if I goof this up, it won't be too bad. Well, let's do it. So I've already used a 2 mil to get the rebound adjustment knob off of the bottom. So that's sitting here. It's just one little Allen key that holds it on the side. Pull it out. Set that aside because you're going to need it again. I already let the air pressure out, and I have taken what is this, a 5 millimeter, loosened up one side. I'm loosening up the air side now. And I have a bucket underneath of this because I believe we're going to get some oil that comes out of this. Taking the other bolt out a little bit, not all the way, and I believe, if I'm not mistaken, that we actually want to keep this bolt in slightly. And I think we want to give it a little tap from the underside to loosen it up. Basically, I took this other bit, put it up underneath here with the bolt still in place. That allowed me to give it a good little smack, and that loosened the seal underneath, and the fluid was able to start draining out. So you're going to want new fluid. I happened to pick up some of this Rockshox high performance suspension fluid here. It's like $7. And the other thing that you're going to need is some shock grease. This is just Buzzy's Slick Honey, recommended by a local shop. So we're going to use those later to get everything ready to put back together. You will notice that the shock is off the bike now because I figured that's probably the best way to do it. You know, if all the other videos I've seen have them servicing a fork off of the bike, I figured, you know what, I probably should do the same thing as well. So I will note also, you saw I tapped it on the other side. I got to tap the damper side as well. So now I should just be able to pull it out. We got more drainage. Out comes our, well, this is our lower, so I'm just going to set this lower aside for now. I'm just going to stick it, where am I going to stick it? I'm going to just stick it over here. Because all I'm doing is changing the air spring, which is this guy right here. So now what you'll notice is there's a C-clip that holds this together. So I'm going to just pull this in, squeeze it, get it out. We'll set that aside. Now, they say to kind of hold it here and then pull it out. There we go. Hey, old air spring out. All right, so here we go. New old spring, or to your left is the new air spring, to the right is the original. You can see that the one on the left without the bolt head in it is slightly longer, 10 millimeters longer. This should be a 150 and a 160. So now we'll just lube this thing up and shove it back up in there. All right, so I've lubed up the top of this thing, top of the new air spring, using this slick honey grease, and I just dabbed it all around the corners, all around the seals there, and we're going to stick this thing right back up in there. There's going to be some pressure, so I think the easiest way to do that is relieve the pressure up at the top when pushing it back in. So I'm going to use a just a pick, keep that valve open there, and that allows me to slide this in much easier. I'll get that C-clip back in place. I'm not doing a lower leg seal on this one, so what I'm going to do is I've already cleaned the tops. I don't want any debris to get in the shafts, but I am going to take a little bit more of my slick honey here, and just kind of, I'm going to put it on my finger. It's kind of awkward doing it right now, but I'm going to take this and rub it around the insides of the seals here, so that when I put the seals back on, it should slide on easier. That's all I'm doing, is just getting it on the inside of those seals. Angle this down here like that. And now I can pull them up onto the fork. See if I can't not goof this up. Over the lip right there. Got this one. This one. There we go. And then push it on up. All right, there we go. I don't know if you can see, there's a gap in there between the threads and the lower body. So I'm going to use that to insert our fluid. So we're going to put in 10 millimeters of fluid onto both sides through that little hole, and then we'll close this up and bolt it back together. All right, here we go. I got this filled up to 20, so I'm going to put 10 in each. I'm going to angle this up and to the side, so that way it doesn't go into the bolt, but it goes around and into the housing. So we're going to push this until we get to 20, from 20 down to 10. And then we'll do the same thing on the other side. There's 5. There's 10. All right. And the other side. Should be another 10 here. Squirt it all down. It's almost 5. Oh, make a mess here, aren't I? Almost. All right, there we go. That's 10 in each lower leg. Now we can go ahead and tighten these bolts back up. Get it threaded in one side, and then I'm going to do the other side. Just start it by hand. And I'm going to take my socket here, both sides, and then we'll torque them to spec. So in my case, it's 65 inch-pounds. Already did the air spring side. There we go. That's it. And of course, don't forget to put your rebound adjuster back on and tighten down the side. So that's it. Lower leg service complete. Pump up your air back to whatever pressure you run. In my case, I'm going to then install this back on the bike and we're done. So pretty easy. I was a little intimidated at first. If you're thinking about it, don't be. Super easy. Catch you guys next time.